It now gives me great pleasure to bring to the stage the President of Sao Tome and Principe. Please warmly welcome President Carlos Vila Nova. Your Excellency, you're very welcome, and it is an absolute great honor to have you in Accra one more time. Your Excellency, we're talking about Africa's industrial future, and clearly, one of the most important things that we must remember is it is a political decision. The more African leaders are aligned with the continent's future, the continent's industrialization, the more we're able to achieve quickly. Your Excellency, building industries, I believe, is a national emergency. If we accept this as a sovereign priority, as far as you're concerned, what concrete political decisions does this require when we talk about power, when we talk about logistics, etc.?
Good morning, everybody. I want to apply for your comprehension because I will be expressing in English. It's not my language. So very often I will look to my notes in order to be myself comprehensive to all of you. Regarding this panel and African leadership, we can approach these subjects from many ways. And let me first begin to congratulating President Mahama, even he is not here, on his leadership and on the clarity of the vision he has articulated for Ghana. We all know that Ghana has long played an important role in Africa's democratic and economic journey. What is particularly encouraging today is a renewed emphasis on stability, institutional strengths, and long-term economic thinking. These are not easy messages to carry politically, but they are messages that build nations. In a time when noise can easily be mistaken for leadership, Ghana's renewed focus and discipline, reform and direction sends an important signal not only to its citizens, but to the region and to the continent. May I ask you, can proceed with industrialization?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. Concerning industrialization and questions of leadership, if I may reflect more broadly, industrialization is not a technical problem waiting for a clever solution. It is a leadership problem that demands consistency. Every country represented here knows what the constraints are: power, logistics, skills, finance, and governance. The difference between progress and stagnation lies in whether leaders are prepared to take responsibility for these constraints and manage them steadily over time. In Sao Tome and Principe, we have learned that uncertainty does more damage than leadership. Business can adapt to reform. Citizens can endure adjustment. What undermines confidence is unpredictability. That is why I believe deeply that good governance and stability are not obstacles to grow, they are its foundations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, now let's move and talk about tax and fiscal choices. Clearly, at the end of the day, every nation, every country wants to ensure that investors feel comfortable. also wanting to ensure that governments are able to manage their revenue, to pay for education, to pay for, healthcare, etc. In your view, what kind of fiscal and tax frameworks are needed to achieve this balance? The balance that, of course, can support long-term industrial investment without weakening our economies.
Looking to this question, the subject, the way you did it, we can also approach this in many manners, depending on the moment of the country. For example, our country is approaching now electoral moment. Our citizens are watching closely. And not just we promise, but we are looking how we govern. Good governance is not dramatic. It's quite work of the state, respecting institutions. We are applying rules consistently, managing public resources transparently, and ensuring that changes happen without chaos. Stability is, in this sense, is not about resisting change. It is about managing change responsibility. So this is a lesson many African countries are relearning at the moment. Reform without stability creates anxiety. And stability without reform creates stagnation. Leadership is the ability to balance both of them.
To balance them, yes. Your Excellency, then you speak about leadership, so let's go to the concept of African leaders. And would you say African leaders are ready and prepared to pursue industrialization through multi-country industrial compacts? Are our leaders prepared for this?
We never prepared for everything. Let me state something. God never chooses prepared people. He prepares people. So whatever situation, one must be ready to learn, to adapt, and to do his best for everybody, not for himself. I may say also that Africa, all the countries, does not need every country to do everything. It needs countries that lead by example, that show that democracy, stability, and growth can reinforce one another.
Your Excellency, which also means we absolutely have to be linked. We absolutely have to forge ahead together. Unity is one true mark of us getting forward quickly. If global capital listens to one message today, if the world is listening to one key message today that we're having here at the Africa Trade Summit, how would you describe Africa's readiness to scale our industries? How would you describe Africa's readiness to forge forward in unity? How would you describe Africa's readiness to scale industrialization?
During previous messages addressed to all of us here, we listen many opinions, issues, skills. Africa is like a world reserve for minerals, many resources. I tell you, 50 years before, the African situation leadership are not the same now. So it means the vision is changing. The new generation have been prepared in the other way. So the message is clear. Let's look to our resources. Let's look to our relation. Let's look to the cooperation between countries and not playing games according to third interests. It's difficult. It's easier for me to say that. But if we think a little bit and we strengthen ourselves, Africans, for what we have and what we can do in a very unstable world. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow in the world. All of us, we are looking to know a line. What will happen? It will go on the right, it will go on the center, it will go on the left. Nobody knows. Every day, there is something new that changes everything. So it's up to us, African, through this meeting, very important for all of us, and take decisions, take resolutions, and look forward, but looking for us first.
Mr. President, lastly, as a son of the continent of Africa, as an African leader, as the president of Sao Tome and Principe, what gives you hope?
Let me see if I have it here. Look, honestly, the biggest hope I have, I am father and I am also grandfather already. When I see my little kids, too, boy and little girl, not with the same opportunity to compete for everything, even in my country. Not yet. They cannot arrive and compete at the same level with everybody and all the stages. I really want this to happen in my country. That's my aim.
That's your aim.
Thank you.
Mr. President, before I release you, and this will not be in your notes, you have a platform, a room filled with captains of industry, a room filled with young people, and not so young people, I won't call them old, a room filled with dreamers, a room filled with industry leaders. What word of advice, as we look at our theme, financing Africa's industrialization, developing industrial value chains, beneficial and market integration, what word of advice would you give this room and indeed all Africans listening to you this afternoon?
I will be short. Dream a lot, but act with reality. Think on your reality and act for your people and for your country.
Dream a lot, but act on reality. Your Excellency.
Don't take what is good outside and put it the same way in your country. Take it and adapt it to your country. Dream a lot, but make it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it. Dream a lot, but adapt it. Travel, see, but always localize. I've had His Excellency, the President of Sao Tome and Principe, as my guest on this high-level presidential panel. A round of applause for Excellency President Villanova. Thank you so much, sir.